Welcome. Let's talk about FCRA bill introduced by the government of India. Bharatiya Janata Party led NDA, they introduced FCRA bill in the parliament. Now, what is the difficulties with this FCRA bill is very simple, that they limited administrative expenses to 20%, which is to be 50% earlier. Now, with the 20% of expenses, they have to pay salaries, they have to maintain offices, they have to conduct education, health, welfare programs, they have to run shelters, schools, of hospitals, and hostels. How very difficult to run all this, right? And they're also banning on regranting or subgranting funds. Earlier, one big NGO, they used to get fund from the foreign countries and they used to give to smaller NGOs. Now, the government banned it. They said you are not supposed to give for any small NGOs. You have to spend from the main NGO only. You have to do charity works and all to main NGOs. Maybe government wants to kill all small people, like how these companies, they made it small companies and they killed and they given everything to Adani, Ambani. Like that, maybe they want to make only big NGOs to survive and the small NGOs they want to kill maybe. Then if you introduce these kind of bills, and how the smaller NGOs will survive. Like same way, like, small businesses are killed and then and every business went in the hands of the Adani, Ambanis, and then even NGOs also will come to that level, that where the bigger NGOs will survive and the smaller NGOs will be killed. And why the Modi ji is doing this kind of bills, we don't know. Of course, they are saying that we are controlling corruption and all. Okay. So the corruption control has to be done during, the corruption done by politicians, corruption done by business people, corruption done by criminals and gundas, not those people who are doing charity work. How much money you will control from the charity work? The lakhs and crores of rupees tax evasion is being done by the business people. If you find 1 lakh NGOs, if you control 1 lakh NGOs, you may control 1 lakh rupees. With a single businessman, you can stop that 1 lakh rupees corruption. What is this? Giving so much of crores of rupees tax evasion, so much of bank evasion. The corporates got crores of rupees, lakhs of 6 lakhs, 5 lakhs, crores of rupees. Bank, they granted exemption from the repayment of the bank loans and all. Then they wanted to save the money from corruption from NGOs who are serving the people. That's something which we need to deeply understand. And they also said that mandatory SBI account from Delhi. What if an NGO owner or the person who is running an NGO from a deep remote village person, he is getting just 1 lakh, 2 lakhs rupees, and then how many times he had to go to Delhi and come back, and then of course he can draw the money here and there, but if any technical banking problem comes, that he had to go to a MEDA head office, right? In Delhi branch account. So even for going and coming only is 1 lakh will go, then what service he will do, NGOs. So these are all the problems we can understand. They also said the renewal and cancellation of licenses are approximately 20,000 NGOs. They cancelled FCRA licenses in 2014. They're saying the technical errors, delays, national interest, so many reasons they given, the 20,000 FCRAs were cancelled. It's all just want to increase the control of the government over the NGOs. They're asking to provide Aadhaar of office bearers, file more frequent audits, follow detailed and burdensome paperwork and all. They're putting on this. This is one thing you need to understand. But obviously NGOs will protest. They're questioning, they're asking, they're raising the voice that how can we run community services like education, healthcare, orphanages, tribal development, women empowerment, old age homes. Will face difficulties, all these things. And they're shutting down of thousands of Christian run facilities. Their main target is Christian run facilities. They're just closing FCRAs to schools, hospitals, hostels, leprosy centers, HIV centers, disabled centers, orphanages run by Christian organizations. The main target is that. The allegations of targeting minorities, that Christian NGOs are already, they were coming out, they're talking about environmental NGOs, human rights NGOs, minority NGOs, they're under more scrutiny now. But Hindu charitable trusts and RSS linked NGOs, they're receiving fewer restrictions. And why there is so much of restrictions on Christian organizations, and why Hindu NGOs are getting lesser restrictions. And already these missionary and Christian organizations are, they're raising the questions already on these missionary hospitals and educational institutions. They're already, especially they're being monitored more. So they're saying that these people are converting without evidence. They're saying that converting, but it's kind of vulnerability, harassment, too much of surveillance leads to too much of stress, too much of harassment. Social work in tribal areas is going to seriously hit, because the small NGOs are running in Dalit colonies, tribal areas, in the states like Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Nagaland, Manipur. 50 to 70% of social service institutions are run by Christian NGOs in these states. They're depending on FCRA funds. Now, they will face the teacher shortages, hostel closures. It may lead to loss of nutrition programs and no money for medical supplies, and then health will affect, right? Then what they're going to achieve out of it, that we don't know. It's going to affect tribals and Dalit areas. No, most of them are serving in the tribal and Dalit areas. They're running tribal Dalit schools, residential schools for Dalits, bridge schools for Dalits, and tuition centers, nutrition programs, scholarships, orphanages. They're running for Dalit communities. And if you keep this thing, the first effect will fall on these marginalized societies, Christian NGOs, Dalit organizations, tribal rights groups, and missionary institutions, community-based organizations. These are all going to get affected. And mostly it is going to affect the health sector, where these Dalits will depend on that. Tribals and Dalits, they will depend on Christian-run hospitals, missionary hospitals, small rural clinics, mobile health vans, leprosy and TB centers, and nutrition centers, disability rehabilitation missions. All these are dependent on the foreign funding. The foreigners will fund for medicines, doctor salaries, vaccines, ambulances, and medical camps, and they will donate. Now, without FCRA, how they are going to get all this? How they will run clinics? Clinics will be shut down now. Patients lose medical access, and pregnant women face risk, and infant mortality rises, and leprosy, TB relaxes. These are all will happen. And it's going to affect women's safety, and shelter collapses. Many NGOs are running for shelter homes, widow homes, domestic violence support, anti-trafficking missions, tribal girl rehabilitation centers. So how, without FCRA, how they can protect the women, how can the rescue operations, how can they rehabilitate women, and how they, give the legal aid to them. It is going to affect livelihood, and forest rights. It's going to weaken. Several NGOs are helping Adivasis with the Forest Rights Act claims, land pattas, compensation against displacement, legal cases against land grabbing, protection from money lenders, sustainable farming training. These are all services given by these NGOs to the Adivasis. Then they all will be shut down. And Dalits human rights work is going to be shrink. How Dalit rights NGOs mainly rely on foreign funded programs like to track atrocity cases, provide legal aid to Dalits, and train community volunteers, support Ambedkarite movements, fight bonded labor, and fight untouchability in villages. These are all going to be the biggest losers now because of this FCRA program now. And it's going to be loss of social audits and corruption watchdogs. Self-governance. It's going to be against the self-governance because they wanted to control over the entire NGO. They wanted everybody to open the account in Delhi, and they're closely monitoring what's happening. And now they are not no more in the control of Grama Sabhas. Tribal fight displacement, women participation, PESA and FCRA acts, rights and all these will be violated. All small NGOs that belongs to Dalits and tribals will be killed now because of this NGO. They're too small to receive foreign funds. They're dependent on bigger NGOs. Now they say you are banning the bigger NGOs. Then how will they survive? This is going to be one of the major problem. And it may lead to corruption even. Now because you are asking everybody to open in Delhi, and all brokers will be surrounded in Delhi, they start approaching these NGOs that will ask, will release your fund, give us commission. It may lead to corruption, right? Financial surveillance power will go to and concentrated in one place, and then all brokers will, right, they gather there and then start demanding for commissions and everything from these NGO owners, and this may lead to bigger corruption there. Then how it's going to help the country and as well as the people, the marginalized societies and all. They're asking so many documents, they're asking so many, they're blocking accounts, they're freezing funds, and then suddenly brokers will come there and will say that we'll do you documentation to you, we'll release your blocked account, we'll release your freezed funds, and all these brokers they ask for bribes. Politically aligned people will come and ask for commissions, percentages. This is going to be a kind of a harassment on these NGOs. So ban and subgranting helps bigger and politically aligned NGOs. That's what I said. Like there is Adani kind of people will be survived, and then the remaining people will be killed. The middlemen will get benefited. Political brokers will be benefited. Retired officials will be benefited because of all these things. Who are the major sufferers? Tribal rights, Dalit atrocities, anti-corruption, anti-caste discrimination, environmental activists, and all these people are going to face problem with this bill. The government need to rethink on this. Thank you. Namaskar.